There are very few musicians as talented as Kanye West, and beyond a very successful music career, he's also become an extremely successful businessman. However, what seems to have completely outshined all of this success is the level of controversy and questionable behavior that he continues to display. It's almost impossible to talk about Kanye's career and success without mentioning the influence of his mother, Donda West. Donda was more than just a parent to Kanye. Donda acted as an inspiration to him in his formative years and also mentored him through his journey into the music industry. All of Kanye's desire for creativity and learning were passed down from his mother. Her support helped shape his early ambitions for success, fueling his desire to break barriers in music and art. This allowed him to grow into one of the greatest music artists of his generation, all the way from the college dropout to Yeezus. And on top of all that success, he managed to evolve a fashion personality with his Yeezy brand. However, the same passion that fueled his success also hinted at the potential internal battles he was facing, or at least would later face. Seems like a battle between genius and the demons of personal turmoil. While Kanye had always had glimpses of questionable moments in his early days, he became increasingly surrounded by controversy following his mother passing in 2007. From the weird subliminal posts on social media to certain comments during interviews. However, for the sake of this video, we'll zero in on some of the more recent events that have sparked debates and a ton of interesting conversations on the internet. In recent months, Kanye's behavior on social media platforms, particularly on X, formerly Twitter, has been absolutely insane. Apart from the fact that every post was constantly filled with inflammatory language, they were all mostly controversial opinions. And, as you would expect, they sparked widespread outrage from internet users all over the world. Interestingly, these series of tweets came right after a rather strange fashion choice by his wife, Bianca Censori, at the Grammys. Shortly after their absurd appearance at the event and all the backlash that came with it, Kanye took to X to let out all of his intrusive thoughts. He targeted other celebrities, Jews, disabled people, and even other racial groups with several lines of hate speech. Many of these tweets have been condemned by others in the industry, fans, and cultural commentators. With the sheer size of the following that Kanye has, many are concerned about the possible anarchy and danger to Jewish folks and other minority groups that these tweets could fuel. With over 31 million followers, all of that influence comes with the literal power to affect people's notions and opinions, and this kind of behavior is bound to leave an impression in the minds of many. But that was merely the tip of the iceberg of what Kanye had planned. Adding fuel to the fire that Kanye had ignited on Twitter over the last week, Kanye's recent Super Bowl commercial has become the latest flashpoint of controversy. During Super Bowl 59, Kanye, in true Kanye fashion, took a daring and provocative approach to advertising. In the ad, he appears in a dentist's chair, an image some claimed was unsettling to look at. But even more controversially, the merchandise he promoted was covered in symbols that sparked an immediate reaction. These symbols also included a swastika. If this was before, we could have just concluded that it was a mere lapse in judgment by Ye and his team. But considering all the tweets that Kanye had made before this ad, it is clear that this was more calculated and deliberate. The commercial not only stirred up intense media scrutiny, but also worsened the relationship between Kanye and his once loyal fanbase. Making a bad situation worse is the controversial reference to nitrous within the context of the Super Bowl ad. Many believe this term is a nod to past allegations involving Kanye's reported use of nitrous oxide. This alleged substance use has become related to yet another area of his unpredictable behavior. While the details are all over the place on this one, there is almost enough evidence that these references are part of a bigger pattern of erratic conduct, as well as subtly displaying a metaphor for the chemical influences that may have contributed to his instability. Concrete evidence linking Kanye's behavior to nitrous oxide is mostly little to nothing, but the mere mention of it has fueled additional controversy and speculation among critics and fans. And just when you think that it can't get any worse for Kanye, his personal life joins the tumble train. After all the public controversies and provocative advertising that has gone out over the past few weeks, Kanye's personal life has also been thrust into the spotlight. Again. His relationship with Bianca Censori has constantly made headlines for all the wrong reasons, since they got together, making them a subject of intense public interest. Recent reports suggest that their union is facing serious challenges and may be gearing towards its end. While divorce cases are never a walk in the park, the absence of a prenuptial agreement between the couple has raised concerns over potential legal disputes that are bound to put further strain on the marriage and Kanye's already plummeting mental health. This kind of personal strife only adds to the narrative of a man who seems to constantly be staggering on the edge of both professional and personal chaos. The combination of all these controversies has not only impacted Kanye's reputation, but has also become a bigger question mark on the responsibilities of public figures and people of influence. In an age where every tweet is scrutinized and every action dissected, Kanye's recent behavior has caused serious debate over the limits of free expression in the public sphere, especially in the digital age. Critics argue that his reckless statements and controversial ads contribute to a climate of hate and division, but as you would expect, there are still some on his side. Some supporters claim that his unfiltered expression is an extension of the creative genius that once made him a trailblazer. It is important to acknowledge that Kanye West's journey and story come in very many unpredictable layers. Early in his career, Kanye started showing signs of being a revolutionary, not just in the music, but in his behavior towards the industry as a whole. His music challenged traditional societal standards and also shaped a new era of sound for mainstream music. However, as his career progressed and blew up into this massive personality, the same brilliance that powered his work at the beginning also came with the effect of sending him down a crashing path. After the many controversies from over the years that now dominate his public image, most people still wonder about the person behind the media smokescreen. Is the old Kanye still in there somewhere? Fans miss the old passionate artist who knew how to turn his loss into a powerful advantage through his music. The closer we look at Kanye's story, the more we see the bigger problems in modern-day society. Fame and creative expression seem to always conflict with the celebrity's responsibility and accountability to the people who loyally follow them. Kanye's actions, ranging from his abusive social media posts to the Super Bowl ad that should have never happened, are the perfect case studies for this problem, especially at a time when getting a thought or opinion out is easier than ever. Some commentators have watered Kanye's story down to a simple case of success or failure. However, this is more of a combination of many highs and lows of a life lived constantly under the spotlight. When you piece that with his mental health struggles, it's easy to see why this issue is worth addressing. While the controversy seemed to be standing center stage over his earlier achievements, it should take nothing away from his long and storied career. Any attempt at understanding just how impactful Kanye has been in music, fashion, and even culture will also have to consider both the brilliance and the chaos that has grown with him over time. Kanye West's life may be an extreme example, but it's further evidence that celebrities are human, and being human is complex. Kanye went from losing the one person in the world who had always stood by him, his mother, to the literal peak of creative brilliance with his music and business, and then now standing right at the center of nearly every public controversy. This should raise a lot of questions about who these people are beyond all the media and headlines, but even more about drawing the line between creativity, free expression, and accountability in words and actions. Could the legacy of a cultural icon like Kanye West ever be rescued from this? Or is it forever tarnished by the controversies that now define him?